Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How's it going indeed? Well, the current fiduciary or CEO, I guess, caretaker of FTX and its asset kind of goes on a rant and rages that the customers of FTX will never be made whole. Never be made whole. And Sam Baker fraud, uh, you know, petitioning the court. That's the word I was looking for. Petitioning the court to reduce his essentially lifetime sentence. And what do you think? Do you think he should be allowed to petition the court for a reduced sentence, or is it just straight up banker fraud? Sam banking fraud. Bankman Fried, I guess, is his actual name. I've been saying it banker fraud for so long, I don't even remember his real name. I mean, it just seems like straight up fraud, right? Why should you get a reduced sentence, especially if even under a fiduciary that these FTX customers and creditors will never be made whole? I mean, it just, you know, there was only 105 Bitcoins left on the exchange against the customers who should have had 100,000 Bitcoins. I mean, what the? Why are all the Bitcoins missing? That's a huge question. I mean, where did they go? Where are the Bitcoins? Like, I mean, why would they not be like customer segregation of funds? This has been a thing for a long time. You don't just borrow customer funds and go do things with it. And I mean, you can, of course he borrowed and donated and all sorts of things, but why should he get a reduced sentence? I mean, he did straight up banking fraud. It's not like he did crypto crimes that we have no laws for. He did straight up banking fraud. He's set to be sentenced on March 28th, coming up just 6 days, so next week. And we'll see what happens here. But I mean, I have little to no sympathy for banking fraud. I mean, Ponzi schemes. I mean, essentially, it's not all that different from a Ponzi scheme. Essentially, using customer funds. I mean, it wasn't like an investment scheme. It was you just bringing in more customers and then skimming the top. And I mean, it was banking fraud, straight up. I mean, you can't just look at the big money and take customers' funds like that. Just, I mean, it was. He is not. He not is. He was. I mean, but he donated to lots of people. But at this point, caught red-handed, and probably it was customer funds. I mean, you want to talk about? I mean, it just amazes me. Amazes me. Oh, I'm blah 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 blah. I should get special treatment. Are you kidding me right now? When you commit fraud against millions of people, you should pay the price. I don't know. This is a key reason why I say that you've got to, if you're going to go into the spot ETFs, do not put all of your money into one fiduciary. When you look at the spot ETFs, there are multiple fiduciaries across them. And let me see if I can even find my chart that tells the different fiduciaries. I didn't prepare that because my mind all of a sudden took a left turn when I was thinking about this. And let me see where. Golly, I've posted a lot of pictures to myself to talk about stuff on here. And I have a whole channel that's just the things I talk about on this show right here. And let's see. Oh, that doesn't have the fiduciaries. That's nice. I had a picture of the spot ETFs, but not the fiduciaries. I don't even know where I put it. Dang it. Anyway, Coinbase is the fiduciary for most of them. And then we have, yeah, I went past it, past where it would have been. So Coinbase is the fiduciary for, well, we have 9 spot ETFs. So, or no, Coinbase is the fiduciary for 9 ETFs. We have 11. And Gemini and Fidelity. Fidelity is its own fiduciary. They jumped through the hoops to be their own fiduciary. So Fidelity secures Fidelity's crypto, Bitcoin. Coinbase is the fiduciary for most of them, and I think it's VanEck uses Gemini, Gemini, however you want to say that one. And I recommend that you spread them around. So ARK and BlackShares both are using Coinbase. So Coinbase is the major player there. And, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. No stocks, no options, no bonds, no Forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. They all involve a substantial risk of loss. And while you're at it, don't buy anything else from financial gurus, including myself, unless you trust them. All right? Make sure you trust people. Is Coinbase safe? I don't know. Was FTX safe? Turns out not. Well, is Binance safe? Well, the SEC shut that guy down too. Made him, kicked him out. That head guy, he was going head to head with SBF. And, CZ is the initials he goes by. And Coinbase kicking him out too. I mean, not Coinbase. The SEC kicking him out too. Filing lawsuits and stuff against him. So, I mean, it's maybe Coinbase is safe, maybe not. I'm serious about spread your risk around. Every single halving event after that has happened, and we go through the peak, and then we go into the crypto winter. Every single crypto winter after the halving has seen a major exchange go bust. Think about that for a minute. How do you protect yourself? Spread it around, all right? Now, these exchanges aren't regulated like normal stock exchanges, all right? They're not set up the same way. Although stock exchanges are companies, but they're not regulated the same way. There's not like insurance protection against you losing all your crap. So that's why you need to spread it around. All right? Spread around your fiduciary. Who says somebody doesn't hack Coinbase tomorrow and take all the Bitcoins? Entirely possible. Entirely possible. Somebody commits huge banking fraud. I mean, look, SBF's, FTX's Bitcoins, they're supposed to be over 100,000. And as I just said a minute ago, there's supposed to be over 100,000 of them, and there's like 105 right there. Only 105 left in the account. There were supposed to be about 100,000. Where to go? Yeah, cold storage wallet, that only helps you until your cold storage wallet gets stolen. Right? I mean, that's kind of like keep your gold locked in your safe. It only works till somebody comes takes your safe. You got to be careful out there. Anyway, just saying. So Coinbase, is Coinbase safe? I don't know. And we look at the daily, and the chart looks fine. The company went through a rocky period. We weren't sure it was going to stay solvent down here. If it had gone bankrupt, what happened then? Yeah, they were definitely having trouble down here. Anybody remember that? I remember that. I was talking about it. In fact, I moved a bunch of crypto off of Coinbase into hot wallets away from Coinbase. So, anyway, I want to throw that out there. And welcome, everybody. If you want to chat with me like all the fine folks saying hey and good morning, make sure you click the link over here and be a subscriber on the channel. And a few seconds later, chat is enabled while the live stream chat is enabled while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, then you're going to have to leave a comment down below or come hang out in Discord with me. The link is in the description. Click the more button down below here, and it's like $5 to come get in there with us. And if you're already a member, you already bought anything from me ever, just go to the members area, members.prosperitypub.com, and log in, and there are instructions for getting in Discord if you want to come chat with me and hang out with all these awesome people. And we've got all sorts of people. So, I mean, Goose is in there, Nikki's in there, just almost everybody in the chat is in there. I mean, General Rush and Sledge and Ray and John, Major John. I see y'all. See everybody. Welcome everybody, and welcome, welcome to the show. I didn't have a lot to talk about today. Like, it's kind of a benign day. After we rolled through the FOMC, and here we are wrapping up the week on Friday. Just not a lot planned in the financial calendar here. Jerome Powell is going to speak, or I guess he already is speaking this morning, and not causing a whole lot of. I mean, I guess that was the dip in the pre-market that we were seeing a little bit, and now it's already coming back. A little bit of lightning there, right at. Kind of rolled early. Coming back a little bit since Powell's been talking. So we got this dip at about 7 o'clock. It's pretty severe as far as the way the overnight action was going. It was kind of just parked, and then nice big dip right down to the roadmap line on the 15-minute. And yeah, not a lot cooking. Not a lot cooking. Anyway, so maybe we see some volatility. Maybe we don't. I don't know. We are kind of looking toppy, though. Is that the final move? I mean, that's like a head and shoulders-y thing right there. Do we break down? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what cooks today. But everything's kind of boring and uninteresting. For Jerome Powell speaking, the only thing really on the calendar today, we got some other Fed members speaking. Usually when they come out, they're trying to adjust the narrative that the FOMC kind of set. So we'll see what any of those could spark some volatility in the market, depending on how the algorithms react to whatever gets said. Now, coming up next week, roll back to the top, jump back to next week, and Monday's benign, Tuesday's benign, a little bit of consumer confidence during the market open. We got Fed members speaking again on Wednesday, but nothing during the market. Thursday, we get some GDP numbers. And Friday, looks like banking holidays, mostly around the world, but guess what? The market's still open. And we get some core PCE right there. A little sprinkle in on Friday next week, last day of the quarter. And maybe the bigger overarching thing is the fact we're coming into the end of the quarter and we got S&P 500 blackouts. They can't buy, can't sell, can't transact, and the companies can't do buybacks. The CEOs and executives can't do stock transactions. And what does that usually mean? It means there's a mutedness in the market. A lot of the money that flows in from companies buying the stock buyback plans. During the blackout period before earnings, they can't take action. The stock buyback plan is on hold, so nothing happens. And that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So that's the week coming up. Not a lot. And it's economic news wise. So it leaves us up to our own devices and what's happening. Now, another interesting one here that I didn't bring any article, I didn't bring anything. These guys right here, Darden. Anybody know what restaurants Darden runs? It's a pretty broad swath. They run Olive Garden, Longhorn. They run fancier stuff like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. I know Chris's husband loves that place. And right now they're saying that people earning, clients of theirs earning less than 50,000. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to go look at that one. Clients earning less than 50,000 have all but stopped coming, especially on the lower end. They call the lower end restaurants like Olive Garden. Then clients 75,000 in the $75,000 a year kind of income bracket have drastically reduced their spending at the restaurant. This was all in the earnings they reported yesterday. This is, it's sit down restaurants, but it's, it's kind of a swath. It's not fast food, but it's, and so we're seeing stress in the, the median income is supposed to be like 39 or 40,000 roughly. Let's see. Median income in the U.S. Well, that's per week. Weekly income. Most 449. The average salary, but that's not the. Median income household income. Yeah, so the median household right there in 22. I didn't find the 23 number, but right around that 75,000 number. So if you consider that people right around that zone are cutting back spending, that's half your income earners aren't able to afford, or they think they're not able to afford going out to eat so much. Not looking so strong for all this narrative on how strong the economy is. Darden getting a nice big fat punch in the mouth pullback off of that. And maybe we're revisiting the roadmap line one more time. So this could be a potential setup right here for going higher to 180, 185. It is a warning, but it's also not that bad. They make a lot of money doing their business. Look through, and they do carry a sizable chunk of debt, though, $5.9 billion on a $19 billion market cap. Anyway, moving on. What's moving today? What's popping? What's dropping? Look at this. S5FI popped above 80. I got my alert last night. Tagging back above 80. Still a lower high. What are we going to do? This is interesting. S5TH stocks above the 200-day. Make it a little higher high. This is interesting. Are we gonna roll, or are we going to keep pushing this on up? It's an interesting development here, as far as I'm concerned. But as I speculated, this S5TW stocks above the 20-day has come back up, been a little volatile. If this starts dropping out quickly, that's the big caution there. DRA has some CRE exposure, but they're a company that has a lot of resources, I guess you might say. It's not like CRE is not like their primary business. I mean, as far as we build a building and lease it to other people, they build a building and tend to use it for their restaurant. So it's a different kind of CRE issue there. Now, the people lending money to DRI to build those buildings could be an issue. All right. I seem to be a little discombobulated today. I'm sorry about that. I'm just not thrilled with this price action here. Yeah, we came up very bullishly, and now it looks like we're starting some kind of correction. I don't really like it much at all. Now look, it's very similar between that index, and then this one. Similar pattern, but when you zoom out, it looks kind of gnarly. Did tag the upper end of the channel there. Did make a higher high. But it's still, when you zoom out, look at the bigger picture, not making a higher high like the other indexes. We're not up here. We're not doing that super bullish move. We're still below that 618 level for this big correction here. This could be the first move down, could be doing the retrace, and we could get the second move down. This is warning me that something's up, because this is the, these are 2,000, well, it's really like 1,800 smaller cap companies. And if we look at this move down right here, that took us from November 21 through the lows, October 23. Think about it. The S&P bottomed October 22. This one didn't bottom here till October 23, and it's been a lackluster rally. If we go again, right off the 618 level, 1,340. I mean, that's basically 130 on IWM, kind of in line with what I've been saying. This gives me caution that is that regional banks blowing out? Is it some sort of other problem? This is like a warning light. Something's up. Something's up here. Not sure what's going on. So, still cautious. This is like, is this the canary telling me that something's about to happen? I don't know. Is it today? I don't know. Is it tomorrow? I don't know. Is it later in the summer? All entirely possible. It's just something to keep an eye on. If we can get above that, right there, you can see my alert. Breaking daily 618. Are we going bullish? If we don't, still tilted bearish for now. There's no three-wave move really very clear in this move down. This looks like a first move down, a very choppy overlapping consolidation, and potentially we need that third move down to that lower low. Oil continues to chop around. Continues to chop around. Zoom this baby up. Sitting right there, holding. Yeah, that was that little zone there. We rejected. Couldn't quite make it up. Popped through. Bounced off. Bounce. Came back down. Came back down. If we gain the strength here, if charging up, watch out. If we break above this high now, it's now this high right here. Right there, that little high. We break above that. We're going on up here. Probably going to tag that 86 area. And then 90 above that. All right. And I do think when we take and zoom out on oil, look at the big picture. Again, we did this high back here, March 22. We did this low. And think about that. That was when the market was already dropping. We made a high in oil. Then we made this low down here. Lowest low, April 23. The oil doesn't line up with the market at all as far as its cycle. Doesn't line up with Russell, doesn't line up with S&P or NASDAQ. So it's kind of on its own path. Made this high here, made this low here. The 618 level coming in at 105, and we haven't even gotten close to testing that yet. So if we're going to be bearish, we'll probably come up and test that before we turn down. If we're going to be bullish, we're going to break above that 105 area, and then it's game on, because then it sets the stage to potentially go up 150, 170 on the upside targets there. So it's something to keep an eye on. What's the key? What's going to be the key driver of inflation going higher? Energy prices. They can't fight. If oil goes higher, inflation comes back with a vengeance. They can't, it doesn't matter how much interest rates you fight. Oil going higher causes epic inflation. because everything we touch is based on the price of oil. A component of anything you buy, anything you do, you're paying oil. I mean, you can't hardly go anywhere without, I mean, the asphalt in the road in front of your house, oil. The power, the lights coming on, all affected by oil. Whether it's, even if it's solar, you got it delivered, oil. It got manufactured in China, coal and oil. I mean, it came over here from China. So everything you do affected by the price of oil, one way or another. Gold still churning. Like, that was a beautiful pop and the retrace, and we're gonna have to go down a time frame here. Clean her up, Buttercup. That was a really nice touch at the 618 level, but now we retested. It's funny, we retested the trend line again. Nice big 3-wave move. 618 level coming in right there. Need to get back above that, right around 2200. Sets the stage. Next target's up 2240, 2260. As long as we remain in this zone, probably going on the next extension right up there. And based on the last couple times, it may be a swift pop up in that zone. So there you go. Bitcoin still consolidating. Thought we were going to turn more bullish. We didn't get through the 618. We kind of came up shy, retracing a bit. That was only a 3-wave move. That 3-wave moves tend to be corrective, although the extent of that one makes me question what's going on here. The proportions aren't right, but that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Don't read too much in the proportions not being right. It just gives me makes me question what it's going to do. Muddies it up. Now, if we hold this 618 here and turn higher, that's a measured bounce. I'm looking for Bitcoin to hold this zone. If we start getting below about 62.7, we're probably going to take a break on down here to 59. So it's that clear at this point. It didn't do this path right here. If we turn back higher and break back above this, right in there, we're likely to go on that next extension higher and turn more bullish. But if we break below, come on, break below this level right in here where I drew some stuff, we're likely to come down in here 59,000, possibly 56,000 down here. So this zone right in here, like that. That's kind of your long and short of it, all right? Ethereum. Now, interesting, yesterday saw the largest spot ETF inflows on Bitcoin that we've had in 3 days. So we did see a lot of inflows. Now, GBTC is still liquidating like crazy. And GBTC is going to probably keep liquidating until the point where assets under management drop down to 0. And so it's got about $23 billion worth left in there. And just keeps liquidating because, stupidly, they have a 1.5% expense ratio. I mean, who wants to pay 1.5% just to have GBTC hold your Bitcoin? Not me. So they're being stupid, having a high expense ratio, while BlackRock saw a large inflow and they have they have like a very low 1.12 expense ratio through July, I think it is. And then you got other ones like, get my ticker typed in right. Yeah, that's like a 0.25 on HODL. And Burr, Valkyrie has no expense ratio right now. Also have a very small 400 million assets under management. ARC-B, jumping through these, 2.6 billion. What was IBIT? I bet it's already up to 15 billion. So this ETF right here has already amassed more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. That's kind of funny. Funny to me. And then ARKB coming in lighter, 2.6 billion. And their expense ratio right now, 0 for now. So, but all these expense ratios are going to start kicking in. That's just a management fee, and they take it out daily when they rebalance. Something to keep in mind. All right, moving on. Dollar has been showing some strength here. I don't know if we're going to break through. Looks like we'll have to see how this day closes. If we close up here, we've now set it 70% likely we're going to get the extension up here to 105. Probably 105.60-ish, 105.50, 105.60. That could be a swift move too, because look, sometimes the dollar just gets a fire under its butt and takes off. I mean, we see that candle right there, and then potentially today. But remember, we gotta close the day up here. If we just pop up here and then end up down here today, it's likely we're going on a trip on down lower. FTX, FedEx, nice pop. Earnings today, or last night, I guess. Business turning around a little bit, I guess. Maybe, possibly. That did the roadmap bounce. And I didn't even draw it again. Funny enough. Funny enough to me. That high, that low. 299 is the resistance right up there. That would be the target. Didn't really even give you a conservative entry. You would have had to buy aggressively and close your eyes. But coming up here, the target, about 70% likely to hit this 299, 295, 299 area. Remember, these are zones. They're not definitive, just solid levels to the hundredth of a dollar. They're zones. We do have a resistance right there that we're playing into. That comes from that gap down right there. So we do have that resistance coming in there. And it may have a little struggle. Man, look at that. That's so weird. Sometimes it amazes me. Look, this 1272 level is right there at the top of that consolidation. This 1618 level is right there at the top of that. That's just odd to me how these things sometimes set these fib levels up like this. Like, until it did this pullback, these two fibs didn't exist. But they, oddly enough, line up right there with those other prior highs and consolidation levels. So weird. So weird. So that's going to be likely to be some resistance to work through for FedEx going higher. If you're expecting FedEx to be breaking out the 350, we're going to have to get through all that junk right there. So it's got some significant work to do to get higher than that, because there's going to be people, unfortunately, there's going to be bag holders that are just want their money back and are going to be sellers when we get back up in that zone. All right, MRNO. What a nasty chart. Don't mess with that. Baidu just keeps chopping. Talk about a stock that just has done nothing for the whole time the S&P's been making new highs. I mean, look at that. S&P's on the biggest rally ever, and Baidu just consolidates sideways for 6 months. Stupid. That's China. I guess China as a whole has just kind of been messing around here, not really doing much. Baba even not looking so great. Wrecking the head and shoulders pattern. So just not got anything going on there. Nothing at all. I'm sure Warren Buffett's glad he put a bunch of money in that one, if he hadn't liquidated already. He bought down here. It popped and then right back down. doing nothing. Could be a measured bounce winding up, but right now that almost looks like a dumpster fire chart, right? Just the prices are high and there's no reverse split. It's like the only thing we're missing is a reverse split. I'm bouncing around a lot today. I told you I was like, I feel like I'm not focused for whatever reason. OTLK popping up, hitting the roadmap line. That looks pretty bad. It's got the reverse split. I mean, it's essentially dumpster fire territory. UPS moving up in sympathy with FedEx, but their chart looking notably less awesome. Still below the roadmap line, still below the resistance right there. If it can break out, this could be a measured bounce that takes us on higher. That was not the best, but it's a marginal measured bounce setup. Not my favorite proportions that it held. Went a little deeper than I like to see normally. If it's gonna, golly, that bar keeps popping up right in my way. If we're gonna turn bullish above this line, it could be that we rally up into this 175 area on UPS. Really gonna have to prove it to me. I mean, we're right there on right at that resistance. Zoom it up. Right in that zone. So this one could, break out and go all of a sudden. If you buy now, though, you could be in a world of pain if we turn down sharply, break below this. It doesn't even take much. If we break below this low right here, it looks like we're either going to consolidate more or flush it on down to this 123 area. Best Buy has a bunch of upside resistance to get through. Broke out, back tested the trend line, the breakout. If we get above this, it's game on to go higher, though. That could be an initial sign that tech, actual tech, the stuff you go buy at the, this and headphones and phones and stuff like that, game systems, TVs, maybe that industry looking a little better, including refrigerators and washing machines and all the stuff Best Buy sells. DWC. Wow, what a volatile. Yeah, we came most of the way back already. A little bit further to go. Still a downtrend. That looks a lot like the ARM chart, doesn't it? Bubbles. You see that, right? Everybody see how similar these two charts are? Be careful. Don't chase garbage. TMF. Looks like that's drifting on lower. That's interesting. That's a leveraged 20-year treasury, and it's drifting lower. I did expect us to hit down in this area. Below, rejecting the roadmap line once again. Yep. Confluence in the bubble, in the target. VRF, I think that was a mistype because that doesn't look like it would be on the list. FL, oh, beautiful potential. If we break above the roadmap line, we're talking about a move to 48. That's a double in just in shares. Like you could buy a few shares and just double it. Oh man. And potentially if it's going to be bullish, it'll get up to 56. Man, oh man. I like that chart. That may be the chart of the week. I'm going to look at that chart after a while. All right, decliners. Lululemon taking a bigger dive. Kind of speculated that we may see an echo down. Now look at that. Perfect. If we hold in this vicinity right here and turn higher, game on for going up. If we break on down, watch out below, but right there, essentially, right up in that target. Nice potential. Not saying it can hold. Don't buy. Like, don't buy stuff dropping. Wait till it starts reversing. Yeah, it's got a large gap we got to cover now. Despite having, dang, they made a lot of money in earnings. Moving a lot, yeah. Great earnings, but taking a bath. MSTR. One of these days, it's going to retrace. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. ASML. Watch out for that one. Nike. We're going to do the bearish target. 79, maybe 68 down there. Looks like it. Looks like it, looks like it. Watch out below. Coin needs a retrace, but I want to see it do this, but it may, like, it's not definitive on anything. We actually made a higher high just 2 days ago, yesterday. And I still want to see it retrace, but it may just go for breaking above this zone right here. Pile them up a little bit. That zone, if we can get above it, we're going higher. 540, 680. That's the major resistance, though. If it were to turn down, come back to the roadmap line, and probably look for a position. Tesla, Salah. I really like. What am I moving? I'm moving my alert. That's beautiful. Love it. I'd like to see that hit that top of that consolidation from back here. Tapped it there. I'd love to see it tap with a little bit higher low right there. Then we can go. The Tesla's actually, I guess, depends on whose number you're looking at. Going to come in weak for the quarter, but their forward margins looking better and forward sales prospects looking better. So they may actually flip this thing around and this be the low of the cycle here any day now. Maybe out to earnings coming up in April. Could just grind in here until earnings, and then we're off to the races. So I keep up with it a little bit. I have a truck on order. We'll see what happens. ALB, just grinding in the zone. Hey, Arthur. Bros, Dutch bros. Turning down at the resistance right there. Resistance. I'd really like to see gotta measure this. And I'd really like to see that go on up to 40 right now without no messing around. We got to get right up there. Pull back and then bigger picture, bigger up. If it doesn't, if it starts messing around coming back here, it's not going to be good. You know, it's going to take a lot more work for it to go higher if that's the case. ISPR. Oh, man. Lowest low. Don't mess with that stuff. How low can that one go? Jeez. There's no low on there. That's just bad. PDD. Volatility, baby. Probably going to retest the roadmap line a second time if we can hold it. That is actually a very, very bullish pattern. Oh, yeah. Measured bounce and a potential roadmap line. Talking about a move up to 180. Dash. Just keeps grinding. There's no pullbacks, no nothing. Just keeps grinding higher. One of these days, we're going to come back and touch the roadmap line again. But not today, it looks like. BitX. That's your volatility shares. 2x leverage Bitcoin. And as long as Bitcoin is pulling back, roadmap line. Roadmap line, roadmap line. Watch out for that retrace. And Baba, as I mentioned earlier, just doing nothing lackluster. So that's your list for the day. And bias for the day, I don't really expect anything. Maybe another pop, but are we gonna pop up and make Nvidia the largest company in the land? Maybe we could, but I'm still sitting here thinking that this move looks pretty cooked. We need some kind of retrace. Watch out. I mean, what are the pros for going higher? What are the cons for going higher? This is one of the longest, fastest, strongest ups we've had. While year to date, if you just start the ticker at January 1st, this doesn't even make top 10 of moves. But if you go back to the lows and look at it from October to now, it's one of the top 3%, if not even higher, of bullish moves ever in both duration and strength. What happens after large moves in the market? Large corrections in the market. It's just the way this thing works. Be careful out there, everybody. I'll be back with you again Monday. I'll be in Discord the rest of the day. If you're interested in hanging out, links in the description down below. I'll see you later. Bye for now.